Welcome. This is an audio from AliDar's Nutrition and Wellbeing series. Today I take you to meet the most numerous and most mysterious guest in your body, the gut microbiome, the vast population of microorganisms that lives inside your intestine. Some call it the second brain, some the forgotten organ. I prefer another image. It is a living garden that you carry with you everywhere you go, and that blossoms or withers depending on how you feed it. Today you'll learn to be the gardener. Let's start with the numbers because they are astonishing. Inside your gut live thousands of billions of bacteria of hundreds of different species. There are so many that, placed on a scale, they would weigh roughly as much as your brain. They are not intruders, they are partners. They work for you day and night, and in return they ask for only one thing: to be fed well. They help you digest what you couldn't break down alone. They produce some vitamins. They train your immune defenses. And they even talk to the brain through the nerve that connects the belly to the head. That is why when the belly is well, the mood is often better too. It isn't a figure of speech. It's a real chemical conversation. Now the most important word in this whole audio: diversity. A healthy gut isn't the one with the most bacteria, it's the one with the most different kinds. As in a real forest, the richness is in the variety. Many different species that balance each other, support each other, and make the system resilient. A garden with a single flower is fragile, one parasite and it all dies. A garden with 100 different flowers withstands anything. The most important studies all point this way. The more varied the gut flora, the better digestion works, the stronger the defenses, and the more the body is in balance. And here comes the wonderful news. This variety is decided by you every day with your fork. So how do you feed the garden? The first rule, the most solid there is, has a simple name: fiber. Fiber is the favorite food of the good bacteria. You don't digest it, it arrives intact at the far end of the intestine, and it is right there that your bacteria await it like a banquet. When they eat it, something precious happens. They ferment it and produce a substance called butyrate. Keep this name in mind because it is one of the hidden heroes of your health. Butyrate is the food of the cells of the intestinal wall. It nourishes them, keeps them firm, keeps the gut barrier compact and calm. In practice, the bacteria, by eating your fiber, manufacture the substance that protects your own belly. You feed them, they protect you. It is the oldest and most beautiful pact of the human body. And studies confirm it. Diets rich in whole grains increase precisely the butyrate and the good bacteria that produce it. But which fiber and where is it found? Everywhere in the plant world. In legumes, the absolute champions: beans, chickpeas, lentils, peas. In whole grains: bread, pasta, rice, oats, barley, spelt. In vegetables and fruit, especially with the skin well washed. In nuts and seeds. There is a special fiber too called a prebiotic. It is the most powerful fertilizer for the good bacteria, and it hides in precise, very common foods: garlic, onion, leek, artichokes, asparagus, slightly green bananas. A base of softened onion and garlic isn't just flavor, it's fertilizer for your inner garden. And here I want to give you the most beautiful practical rule that microbiome science has handed us. Simple to remember and very powerful. Aim for 30 different plants a week. Not 30 servings, 30 different plants. One of the largest studies ever done, gathering the data of over 10,000 people, found something clear. Those who ate 30 or more different types of plants a week had a far richer and healthier gut garden than those who ate fewer than 10. And note what counts as a different plant. Not only fruit and vegetables, but also legumes, whole grains, aromatic herbs, spices, nuts, seeds. A pinch of rosemary counts. A handful of walnuts counts. A spoonful of lentils counts. You get the game. It's not about eating more, it's about eating more varied. Monotony impoverishes the garden, variety makes it flourish. There is then a second way, besides fiber, to enrich the garden, and recently science gave us a wonderful surprise: fermented foods. They are the living foods of tradition, those transformed by microorganisms. yogurt, kefir, real unpasteurized sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, kombucha. An important study from Stanford University took two groups of people for 10 weeks. One group it had increased fiber, the other fermented foods. Surprising result. The fermented foods group saw the diversity of their microbiome grow and the signals of inflammation in the body fall. It is an invitation to bring these ancient foods back to the table. A jar of real yogurt a day, a spoon of sauerkraut beside the main course, a glass of kefir. Small gestures of a country wisdom that modern science is rediscovering. Having said what feeds the garden, I'll also say what impoverishes it honestly. 3 things. First, ultra-processed foods, those full of sugars, refined fats, and additives. They feed the wrong bacteria and starve the good ones. Second, an excess of simple sugars, which unbalances the population in favor of the less useful species. Third, and here care is needed, antibiotics. They are precious and sometimes life-saving medicines, but they are like a fire in the forest. They burn the bad bacteria, but also many good ones. They must never be refused when the doctor prescribes them. Never, but for that very reason, after a course, the garden must be reseeded with care. Plenty of fiber and plenty of fermented foods to help it grow back. And now, as always, the practical recipes to feed your garden, with things you'll find in any Italian shop. The morning diversity bowl. A base of whole white yogurt or kefir. You add 2 or 3 different fruits. Frozen is fine. A spoon of mixed seeds, flax, sunflower, pumpkin, a handful of nuts, and a sprinkle of oats. Count how many different plants you put in a single bowl. You're already collecting 6 or 7 of your 30 weekly ones, and you have the fermented food too. It's the breakfast that makes the microbiome happy. The rainbow salad of the week. The idea isn't a fixed recipe, but a game. Every time you shop, pick a color you didn't have last time. 1 week radicchio, the next purple cabbage, then yellow carrots, then radishes. Always keep 3 different kinds of legumes in the cupboard and rotate them. Your garden will thank you with variety. And the homemade living pickle, very simple. Thinly slice some white cabbage, put it in a jar with water and salt, a teaspoon of salt per glass of water. Cover and leave at room temperature 4 or 5 days, tasting. When it's pleasantly tangy, put it in the fridge. You've made your own living sauerkraut, full of friendly bacteria, with 2 ingredients and no cost. A spoon a day beside your meals. I close with the image we started from. You have a garden inside you, alive, working in silence for your health. It doesn't ask much. It asks for variety, it asks for fiber, it asks now and then for a living, fermented food, and it asks not to be poisoned by junk food. Treat it well, and it will give you back calm digestion, stronger defenses, and even a more stable mood. 30 different plants a week, a spoon of fermented food a day. It is a whole garden, and the key is in your hands at every meal. This audio is for general informational purposes and reports cautiously what microbiome studies suggest. It does not replace medical advice and does not describe or treat any illness. Never stop a treatment, and antibiotics in particular, without your doctor. For important dietary choices, always consult a health professional. Thank you for listening, and see you soon on ALIDÀR.